let's talk about something every single one of us knows, but almost nobody wants to admit to feeling: loneliness. But what if I told you that hidden inside that really tough emotion, there's something powerful, maybe even a kind of gift? Well, let's dive in and see.
Yeah, just let that sink in for a second. Every single person. So right off the bat, we know this isn't some new problem, and it's definitely not a personal flaw. It's a core part of the human experience, something that connects all of us no matter who we are.
And this is so important to get. It's way too easy to feel like you're the only one, like something's wrong with you. But the truth, loneliness doesn't care if you're successful or popular or have it all together. It's just part of the deal of being human. It's woven into all of our stories.
Okay, but the second half of this quote, that's where things get really interesting, is also to respond. See, this introduces a choice. It's telling us that, yeah, feeling lonely is gonna happen. It's inevitable. But we're not just victims of it. We get to respond. And how we respond, well, that changes everything. So that brings us to what you could call the two faces of loneliness. Think of it like a fork in the road. The feeling itself isn't good or bad, it's just a signal. The real question is, when it shows up, which path do you take? Do you see it as this dead-end struggle? Or could it be a doorway to somewhere else?
And let's be real, our society doesn't make it easy to choose that doorway path, does it? There's this massive pressure to look strong, to seem like you've got it all handled. Admitting you're lonely feels like you're admitting you've failed somehow. So what do? We hide it. We shove it down. And you can really see those two paths laid out here. On the left, if you choose the struggle, if you hide from it, it often leads to just numbing yourself, unhealthy coping stuff, and a lot of pain. But look at the right side. If you turn and face it, that exact same feeling can spark creativity, lead to some deep self-reflection, and even open you up to a more real, authentic kind of love. Okay, so let's dig into that pressure to hide a little more, because our modern world really turns the volume up on this stuff. It adds a whole new layer of complexity to this really ancient human feeling. Here's why it's so tricky these days. We're constantly bombarded with messages to project strength, to be on all the time, to perform, to hustle, and to be totally self-sufficient, right? Like you shouldn't need anyone. The underlying message is that needing other people is a weakness. And in that kind of world, admitting you feel lonely can feel like a totally radical, almost forbidden thing to do. But here's the thing you have to understand. You can deny it all you want, but loneliness doesn't just pack its bags and leave. Nope. It just goes underground. And from there, it quietly messes with our well-being, kind of humming in the background. You can't just wish it away. Okay, but this right here, this is the turning point. This is where we shift from just talking about the problem to actually finding that hidden gift inside it. This is how we can start to transform that feeling of loneliness into something else, something powerful. Longing.
And it all starts with this one simple question. What if we just stopped running? What if we stopped filling every quiet moment with distractions, stopped working late just to avoid an empty house? What would actually happen if we just turned around and looked at it?
Well, what happens is that healing begins. That's the first step. The key that unlocks that doorway we talked about is just naming the feeling. Being able to say to yourself, you know what? I feel lonely. And saying it without all that baggage of shame and judgment. It is an incredibly brave thing to do. So what does that look like in practice? Well, first, you've got to stop escaping. We all have our go-tos, whether it's scrolling on our phones or just being a workaholic. Second, try to just sit with it. Don't try to fix it or solve it. Just be present with the feeling, with some kindness. And third, you listen. You ask it, okay, what are you trying to tell me? And this is what it's trying to tell you. This is the secret hiding inside. Underneath all that pain of loneliness is something really beautiful, a deep, profound human longing. It's your heart's natural, healthy search for connection, for love, for a place to belong. The pain is really just a compass, pointing to a deep need that isn't being met. And once you see it that way, everything shifts. That feeling isn't a dead end anymore. It really does become a doorway. It can guide you to understand yourself better, to figure out what you truly need from your relationships, and maybe even open you up to a deeper sense of meaning in your life. So, as we start to bring this all together, we land on this totally new perspective. Loneliness isn't some enemy that we have to defeat. It's more like a guide. A sometimes painful guide, for sure, but a guide that's trying to point us back to what really, truly matters. And the final big idea here is probably not what you'd expect. The goal isn't to build a life where you never, ever feel lonely again.
I mean, that's not realistic, and honestly, it might not even be what we want.
No, the real goal is to discover the life within the loneliness, to find the creativity, the courage, and that deep call for connection that's sitting right there, in the heart of the feeling. It's about making it part of your story, not trying to rip that page out of the book.
So we'll end on this thought. Loneliness isn't an emptiness. It's not a void. It's a presence. It's the very real, very powerful presence of our deepest human longing, just waiting for us to finally turn around and listen. Thanks for exploring this with me.